For years, I thought I was being intentional about my home. What I didn't realize is I was relying on habits I had built decades ago. Anytime a space in my home felt messy or chaotic, I reached for the same patterns because they felt productive to me. But guess what? They weren't productive at all. And once I realized that, that's when things started to shift in my home. Now, if this sounds familiar, you'll want to stick with me. Hey there, I'm Tracy Lynn, and I teach women how to right size their homes using a more practical approach to dealing with their things. In this video, we are going to be just a little bit different because we are going to talk about habits and how they might just be the reason you're struggling to make progress in your home. So let's start by defining what the word habit means. So a habit is basically something your brain puts on autopilot. It's that thing you do so often you don't even think about it anymore, like grabbing your phone first thing in the morning or putting your keys on the same hook in the mudroom when you get home at the end of the day. At first, you actually choose to do it, but now your brain's like, no, I've got this, and it just runs the program, right? And the cool part is, or maybe it's the scary part, is that the habits don't care if they're helpful or not. They just repeat whatever you've practiced over time, right? Now, our goal today is to replace bad habits with good ones. And yes, when it comes to your home, habits are usually what lead us to our end result. All right, so let me explain. A lot of the time when we're in the thick of things, just going about our day, and suddenly right there we are looking at a hot mess of a space, right? We tend to fall back on habits without even realizing it because it's what we've always done. But here's the thing, especially in midlife, when you're trying to right size your home, those old habits, well, they not only don't work for you, they add to the struggle, making things harder as time goes on. So let's say you're getting ready in the morning, right? You open the bathroom drawer and you look inside and it's cluttered, it's messy, and you're just a little bit tired with how bad it looks. Instead of slowing down and taking a practical approach, your brain looks for the fastest way to make things feel better. And that's when a habit kicks in. You rely on your reflex to fix a few things you're no longer using, you toss them in the trash and think that's all you need to do to fix the problem. Because in that moment, you're just looking for relief of any kind. But the problem is, there you are the next day looking at the same mess, not even noticing what you did the day before to fix it. It's a habit cycle many of us find ourselves in. How do I know? Because this is how I did things for years. Anytime my home felt overwhelming, I jumped straight into doing something. I rearranged what I had and did my best to make it work. And every time I was done, sure, it gave me this little hit of relief, right? But here's what I could not see at the time. I was repeating the same response over and over again. And it was a surface fix that wasn't touching the bigger problem, the underlying mess that I was seeing every single day. I was reacting instead of actually addressing what wasn't working. So here's why habits are so sneaky. They're not random, they're actually trained. For a long time, your brain learned that moving fast was the safest option. If something felt off, you fixed it quickly and moved on. That response worked great when our homes were full and our days were busy and even demanding, right? But most of us don't realize this. Habits don't automatically update as our lives evolve. So we just keep responding in the same way, and when our lives no longer are busy, we think the same habit's going to fix it, but it doesn't do anything to alleviate the problem, right? What finally shifted things for me wasn't doing more. It was realizing I didn't need to react every time something felt off. What I needed to do was actually pause, was to stop and take a breath, just long enough to see what was really going on in that space that I was looking at. Because slowing down even a little let me see the real issue instead of just responding out of habit. And that one change, that pause, That is what allowed me to fix things intentionally in a way that actually lasted. All right, so let me give you an example because y'all know I'm a visual person. And just in case you are too, let's see how this looks in real life. So if there's something in your home that starts to bug you, not enough to turn the whole thing, to turn it into a whole big busy project, just enough to be annoying. Instead of slowing down and looking to see what's really going on, you feel the need to do something, right? To do anything that you can just so you can get things fixed and moved on and move on with your day. So let's say you have a hook on the back of your bedroom door and you go to get ready for the day and you've got like 15 things on the hook. And when you go to add the 16th thing, everything falls on the ground. And you're like, oh my gosh, I just need to fix this. It's driving me nuts. So you take everything off the hook, you throw it in the hamper. And you look, you're like, oh, the hook's empty. I feel so much better. This is great. That habit, that fight or flight mode is what fixed that hook, but it didn't fix the situation. So the next day you come back and what do? You hang something on the hook and you repeat the process all over again until things get out of control and you throw it all in the hamper. That is a habit that fixes things in the moment, but it doesn't fix the situation going forward. So instead, if you just pause and say, okay, what's going to fix this hook? Well, I'm going to designate it the place to put my wet towel after I take a shower. Then the only thing that's ever going to be there is your wet towel. And then the next day you start at that hook before you head to the bathroom. You grab the towel, which is now dry. You go into the bathroom to take your shower and replace the wet towel on the hook. Now, since you've slowed down, looked at the situation, came up with a solution that fits your life today and makes sense, you no longer have a problem with that hook. It has one job, it gives one solution to your day, and it makes sense. You skipped the habit and went right to the solution, okay? So here's the thing. Most of the time, the habit is a reflex, and we just do it without thinking. Your goal is to slow down, take a breath, look at the problem and find a solution and ignore the quick fix habit. So when you notice that the habit is the reflex, things start happening that make sense to you. You stop reacting so fast and you don't try to fix things right away. You just notice what is off and why. And that pause, that's where change actually starts. Now, I know a lot of you don't want to just notice things. You actually want to be productive. You just want to get them done. And I totally understand that. So here's what I want you to do. The next time something in your home bugs you, before you grab a solution like a basket, you start rearranging or you start tossing things in the hamper, ask yourself one question. What bothers me most about this space? Not everything, just one thing that is bugging you the most. Once you name that, the next step usually becomes obvious. You either get rid of it, you relocate it to a different place that makes more sense, or you fix this area in a way that you can keep up with. That's it. One question, one decision, one move forward. Okay, so I hope you found this helpful. I hope you were able to say, oh, it's habits that's doing this. And you're able to maybe give yourself a different way of looking at things so that you can find a more productive way to fix things. All right, so in the next video, I'm going to show you how to take that one decision and turn it into progress without turning your home into this great big project. So stick with me. Now, before you go, make sure you thumbs up this video and subscribe it if you haven't done so yet. And then go ahead and tell me in the comments, what's one space in your home that's really bugging you lately? All right, remember, you're not doing this alone and you don't have to figure it out by yourself. I'll be right there with you. Take care and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.